The starship Ecliptica hung in orbit around Earth, its sleek metallic hull glinting under the reflected light of Sol's distant rays. To the crew aboard, humanity's homeworld appeared unremarkable, a pale blue marble marred by swirling clouds and jagged continents. It was an ancient world, one that had only recently clawed its way into interstellar relevance through sheer audacity rather than technological superiority. But for all their apparent primitiveness, humans had caught the attention of the Dominion, a vast galactic empire known for subjugating weaker species with ruthless efficiency. Captain Veloth stood at the helm of the bridge, his elongated mandibles twitching as he studied the holographic display before him. His insectoid eyes scanned, the data streaming in from reconnaissance drones. "They're still ignoring our ultimatum," he rasped, his voice a dry buzz over the comms. "No signs of mobilization, no planetary defenses activating, nothing." Commander Kalith, a hulking quadrupedal reptilian with iridescent scales, growled low in her throat. "It's arrogance. They think we won't strike because they've done nothing to provoke us. Primitive fools." Veloth tilted his head, antennae quivering slightly. "Or perhaps they are confident." He tapped a clawed finger against the console. "Their transmissions paint them as chaotic, disorganized. Yet their leaders speak of peace while their militaries train openly. And then there is this." He gestured to a series of images captured by the drones. Bustling cities filled with ordinary-looking beings going about mundane tasks. There were no visible weapons platforms, no towering fortresses, no fleets amassing in orbit, just streets lined with shops, vehicles zipping along highways, and people walking dogs or carrying groceries. "They rely on stealth," muttered Kalith. "Cowards hiding behind illusions of weakness." "Perhaps," Veloth replied thoughtfully, "but I do not like it. Something feels off." Down on Earth, Major Elena Reyes sipped her coffee as she leaned against the railing of her apartment balcony. Below her, New Chicago stretched out in a sprawling tapestry of neon lights and droning hover cars. She wore civilian clothes, jeans, a leather jacket, and sneakers, but beneath the surface calm, every muscle in her body thrummed with readiness. Her earpiece crackled softly, feeding her updates from command. "They're holding position," came the voice of General Harker, gruff but measured, still sending probes, still waiting. "Let them wait," Reyes said, taking another sip of her coffee. "We've been preparing for this moment longer than they realize." Harker chuckled darkly. "True enough. Just remember, Major, you're not just fighting for Earth today. You're teaching these bastards why messing with us was the biggest mistake they'll ever make." Reyes smirked. "Understood, sir." She set the mug down and glanced at her reflection in the glass door behind her. With her short cropped hair, sharp cheekbones, and piercing green eyes, she looked more like a corporate executive than a soldier. That was the point. Humanity's most dangerous operatives didn't wear uniforms anymore. They blended in, they adapted, they struck when least expected, and they left nothing behind. On board the Ecliptica, Captain Veloth finally made his decision. "Send in the first wave," he ordered. "Target population centers. Show them what happens when they defy the Dominion." Kalith bared her fangs in a predatory grin. "Finally, let's burn them to ash." A swarm of dropships descended upon Earth, their engines roaring like thunder as they breached the atmosphere. Each vessel bristled with plasma cannons and boarding parties armed to the teeth. Their mission was simple: secure key locations, suppress resistance, and establish Dominion control. As the first dropship landed in the heart of New Chicago, its ramp lowered, revealing rows of armored warriors brandishing energy rifles. The HFY streets seemed eerily quiet, almost abandoned. A few scattered civilians gawked from windows or ducked into alleys, but otherwise there was no sign of opposition. "This is too easy," muttered one of the Dominion soldiers, his visor scanning the surroundings. "Where's their army?" Before anyone could answer, a soft whistle echoed through the air. Then chaos erupted. From seemingly nowhere, men and women emerged, ordinary-looking individuals who had been blending seamlessly into the crowd just moments ago. One man stepped forward casually, sipping from a soda can. As a Dominion soldier raised his rifle, the man flicked the can aside, revealing a compact railgun strapped to his wrist. The shot hit the soldier square in the chest, vaporizing his armor and leaving a smoking crater where his torso used to be. Pandemonium followed. Civilians transformed into soldiers right before the invaders' eyes. Women pulled pistols from purses. Men unzipped jackets to reveal concealed body armor and advanced weaponry. Even children joined the fray, hurling EMP grenades disguised as toys. The Dominion forces scrambled to respond, but the ambush was relentless and precise. Major Reyes moved like a ghost through the battlefield, her movements fluid and calculated. She fired bursts from a modified assault rifle hidden beneath her jacket, each shot finding its mark. Around her, other operatives worked in perfect synchronization, cutting down the enemy with brutal efficiency. "What sorcery is this?" roared a Dominion commander as his squad fell one by one. He swung his weapon wildly, trying to pinpoint a target, but the humans were everywhere and nowhere at once. "It's called preparation," Reyes said coldly, stepping out from behind a parked car. She aimed her rifle at him, her expression unreadable. "You picked the wrong planet to invade." Back on the Ecliptica, Captain Valoth watched the live feed from the ground troops with mounting horror. Entire platoons were being wiped out. Within minutes, the humans weren't just fighting back. They were dismantling his forces with surgical precision. Worse yet, they showed no signs of retreating or faltering. "We underestimated them," Kalith admitted, her tone laced with disbelief. "How could they hide such power?" Valoth clenched his claws. "Because they are predators, and we walked straight into their trap." He turned to the communications officer. "Signal the fleet. Prepare for orbital bombardment. We'll cleanse the surface and start over." But before the order could be executed, alarms blared across the ship. Secondary screens lit up, showing dozens of unidentified vessels emerging from Earth's shadow. Sleek, angular fighters painted in matte black swarmed toward the Ecliptica, their movements coordinated and aggressive. "Those aren't civilian ships," shouted a technician. "They're military-grade interceptors." Valoth stared in, disbelief as the human fleet opened fire, their weapons cutting through Dominion shields like paper. Explosions rocked the Ecliptica, sending crew members scrambling for cover. "They planned this," he whispered, realization dawning. "Every step, every move. They let us come here so they could destroy us." Hours later, the battle was over. The remnants of the Dominion fleet fled into hyperspace, leaving behind wreckage and ruin. On Earth, the cleanup began. Streets were cleared, casualties tended to, and the dead mourned. But amidst the aftermath, Major Reyes stood atop a hill overlooking New Chicago, now scarred but still standing. General Harker approached her, his boots crunching on gravel. "Good work, Major. You sent a message loud and clear." Reyes nodded, her gaze fixed on the horizon. "Yeah, next time someone comes knocking, maybe they'll think twice." Harker chuckled grimly. "If they're smart, they will, because now the galaxy knows Earth doesn't play defense. We win. And somewhere among the stars, the surviving members of the Dominion fleet carried that lesson with them. A chilling reminder of why Earth kept its deadliest soldiers looking like civilians. The end.